Right, we're live. We're live. Yeah, just a bit of off the cuff, I suppose you'd say, Beer Coalition video 2 panel down below. We'll go with Eric first. You want to introduce yourself, mate? If you're not eating.
There we go. Sorry, guys. I was right in the middle of something.
It's not just me screwing up here. All right.
What's up?
Before we start
I'm Eric, the Lions fan. I do beer reviews on YouTube. I do Detroit Lions, Detroit Tigers over here in America. They're kind of a sports reviews and whatnot. I do everything from American Adjunct Lagers all the way up to the world-class beers. So go ahead and check out my channel. It's Eric, the Lions fan. You?
Okay.
I think who's next? Craig?
Yeah, I'm Craig on 10 beer reviews over in the UK. Yeah, been doing it since what, July of 2015, something like that. So good. Drinking some nice craft beers and a mixture. Currently drinking a beer from Shepherd in Kent's Best. So it's more of a kind of a traditional English ale. Things I used to start out with about 10 years ago, and then slowly moved the times. Now it's expanded into a kind of a crafted beer sort of scene, but I still like going back to beers like that in the UK. So yeah.
And Michael.
I do not have a channel on YouTube. Maybe at some point I will, but Rod was nice enough to send me a link to join in with the group. I do have some beer expertise, I guess. I don't know. I look at a lot of reviews, and I drink mostly craft beer. I do tastings, which I sponsor, and people do bring beer over, and we compare different styles, but rating individual beers. So we won't do a whole group of IPAs only. We'll do different styles, but rate them on their individual style, not against each other, but rating on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest, and trying to, set parameters and why you're rating things for each thing. And then we do a cumulative thing, but it's not comparing style. It's comparing just what you're drinking, each individual one kind of thing. Because I get people who on Facebook will say, how can you compare a coffee stout with a porter? Obviously, they're different consistencies and whatever, but you're rating it as an individual beer kind of thing. And that's what we do.
Always do, yeah.
Cool. And Rod.
All right. Well, I am Rod J. So on YouTube, you can catch my beer reviews on Rod J Beer Ventures. I look at various different types of beers and kind of just talk about the beers, kind of review them, I guess you can say. I really don't usually give them a rating anymore, just because everybody has their own versions of the ratings. And if I don't really break down tell you what each thing is specifically, why it stands out, I don't know if you get a full sense of it. So I pretty much just talk about the beer and give you an idea of what I think of it. But if you follow me on the internet, you can go to www.rodjbeerventures.com. And I have the blog and website, which will actually provide other stuff around the beer world happening, as well as my connections with Twitter and Instagram and Untapped and Facebook and all that other stuff out there. So pretty much anything you need in social media, I'm probably there somewhere.
Yeah, same here on that one.
And yeah, Dean's Beer Reviews. I've been doing it literally just over a year now. And I'm really enjoying what I'm doing at the moment. Still learning as I'm going. As all you guys, I don't think you ever get to grasp all of it. But it's a nice journey so far that I'm going down, meeting some great guys like yourselves. I don't do ratings. I either like it or it goes out that door.
I love when the door goes open and it goes out.
Yeah. It happens occasionally. So yeah, we'll just go back through again. We'll start with Eric again and just say what beers we've got tonight, basically.
Well, actually, I'm not going to be drinking beer tonight. I'm actually going to be going out to sing karaoke, probably be a... So beer and singing is probably not the best thing to be doing.
Well, if you're
I'll have to have a
karaoke,
beer if I'm going
if you're
singing.
singing karaoke.
But right now I'm not drinking beer, but I am having an Arizona half and half iced tea right now. So this is kind of my non-beer drinking drink I go to. So.
Did you know there's a drink called the John Daly?
No.
One of the guys at our lunch ordered today was a John Daly. It's a mixed liquor drink. I didn't see what was all in it, but I was like, that's got to be some good hammer and stuff in there. John Daly has a drink named after him now. That's no Arnold Palmer.
So I'll pass it over to Michael.
Okay, I showed this before you came on live. Let me show it again. Rod, you were not on then. This is from a company in Blauvelt, New York called Andean Kuka, Kuka, and this is a pumpkin double made with maca root. I don't know if you've seen it. It's probably mainly local to the New York area. Maybe it doesn't get shipped anywhere else. I'm not sure. They do make a triple as well. They have some other things that are interesting. This is 6.5% ABV. And it's interesting because it's got the pumpkin in it. It has the maca root, and yet it has Belgian yeast too. So it's like a combo of all the different styles together. So you can smell the Belgian yeast. And the taste is a combination, I guess, of the three things, and it's quite good.
Still
Sounds interesting.
Sounds more of a kind of a fall beer.
It probably came out at the end of the fall. It's funny now. Some pumpkin beers come out in the summer now.
Yeah, they come out in the summer.
They're ahead. This one I didn't see until like the end of October, and they still have some of it, and I've been buying it, and I think it's really good.
Cool.
We're already in March. I guess you get to the point where you have to draw the line and decide that a 6.5% beer might not hold up forever, and it might start waning. I know the higher alcohol ones you can cellar. 6.5 is probably too low to cellar, I would think.
I've gotten away with 6.5 before for like a year.
Yeah.
But it had to be like a certain type of ale usually.
You wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't keep hold of a hoppy beer that long, personally. But yeah,
because the elements inside could start to fade. The carbonation definitely is not an issue in this one, but I wonder about if the maca root or the pumpkin itself would start to fade at some point.
Flavor, yeah.
This is still very good. Like I said, I've been drinking it since late October, and it's been very good.
Must be flat by now.
How do you guys feel about Belgian style ales? Do you have an opinion?
Yeah,
that's my favorite. I mean, how do I feel? I mean, freaking. If I went to Belgium, I'd be a monk.
Excellent.
If I went to Belgium, I may never come back to the U.S. for sure. So,
Brilliant.
Belgian Claw is my favorite style.
I like them a lot too. I like all the Belgian styles too.
I do too, Michael. There isn't one that I can say bad things about.
And even the American ones that copy the Belgian styles tend to be pretty good. I know Amagang and Allagash and some of the other companies do have, very fine Belgian styles, which, and I'm sure there are others I'm not mentioning, but those two are especially good.
Craig, what are you drinking, mate?
Well, I've got two, but I started. I've done a couple of reviews earlier, but I started with probably an iconic brewery, Shep and Neem. This is their Kent Best English style bitter. It's coming in at 4.1% ABV. one of my local subscribers got me it, as I hadn't done it before. Apparently, it's not in production anymore, according to Untapped. But so this has got like kind of English malted barley in the mix, along with kind of some locally grown Kentish hops varieties. I think it's probably East Kent Gold in that kind of thing, maybe some Fuggles or something like that. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's got a nice kind of sweetness at the front end, and a nice amount of bitter in hops just to. Yeah, it's really quite quaffable. 4.1. It's very sessionable. I don't drink a lot of this style of beer anymore, but it's certainly I still like going back to them, having one or two now and again.
That seems like one that I'd enjoy, because I like the traditional classic best bitters.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still a big fan of that. I've said on videos before, I mean, I love craft beer, and no matter how good it becomes, I'll always still go back to them sort of beers, because I don't know, just enjoy them.
No, I'm more accepting of every kind of. It's more of a kind of an older style, right up to the new modern stuff. I try. I don't neglect anything if I can. I wouldn't term, you know, lagers are pretty much the mainstream lagers I don't drink anymore. But ale-wise and more kind of more modern crafted beers and things like that, I'll drink them as well. So I'm not offended by people who don't like craft beer either. You know, there will be quite a few, which is fine. At the end of the day.
Yeah. Different strokes for different folks and all that jazz.
I'd rather it be diverse, though. You wouldn't want everyone liking the same stuff anyway, or drinking the same thing all the time.
Yeah, yeah. You just want to just a run down again, Rod, on what you were drinking, mate?
I'm actually drinking the Leinenkugel Berry Weiss. So not really a mainstream craft beer or mainstream beer, because it's not really technically a craft beer because of the ownership. I think it's AB and Bev that has a pretty good stake in it. But it's their Berry Weiss, so it's not too bad, actually. Like I said, Leinenkugel usually does a lot of shandies. I don't usually like their shandies, although their summer shandy just came out, which is like popular here in the U.S. So a lot of people will be buying that like crazy. But I guess I got a good deal with these. I figured I'd pick them up and try them. Why not? 6-pack, $2.99. Can't beat that bargain anywhere. So I said I'd give it a shot. 4.7 ABV, 14 IBU. Not real hoppy. It's like drinking a soda, really. So on a day that would be a warm day, which we don't have today. It actually snowed today for like the first time, like the whole year, it seems. Yes, a couple of days ago it was like almost in the 60s. Today it was like mid 30s, and then it snowed. And then by the time I got off work, it was like about 45, almost 50, it seems. So weird weather. We're supposed to be back in the 60s this week again. So that's why I hadn't been drinking for a while, because I had a cold for like the last 5 days because of the weather changes. So this would have been day 5, but I broke that streak and finally got some beer in my system. So had a nice IPA earlier. As I mentioned, when I came on, had a Coors Banquet, and now I'm on to Leinenkugel Berry Weiss. Supposed to be a Bachfest this weekend, but things were just so crazy I didn't get a chance to go. I'm going to try to go tomorrow. If I can go tomorrow, I'll get some video footage, because they're throwing down like heavy box over there this weekend. But yeah, it's not a bad beer. It's nice, like I said, for people that like a berry type presence, you know, kind of like a spritzer type beer. This one can kind of be that one. I think it's pretty decent overall. Very subtle, yeah.
Great summer beer when it's hot, I guess. Sitting out.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere.
I mean, if you were like on a boat or something, or at a barbecue, or kicking, this could definitely be one you could actually drink there. They call it on Untapped. It says a Crystal Weizen, but it is definitely a Weizen type beer, and not bad, not a bad deal. Like I said, I'm pleased with that. And that's the other one. I picked up the Founders Rubius. That's up where Eric is in Michigan. A 4-pack. How much does a 4-pack go up there? Do you think usually?
Shoot, I thought I seen it for. I think I seen it on sale for like $8.99 up here.
Oh, okay, it's not too bad. I got a 4-pack for $4.99 down here, so it's pretty good deal.
$4.99.
$4.99. That's like $1.25 per beer. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. I've got a cheap spot. I got a place that gets the hookups going. So
I think I need to relocate.
And then I picked up a couple Smutty Nose something I put in the fridge. They were 22 ounces, but they were like $2.99 a bottle. I didn't know. I just said, okay, give me 2 of those. I'll figure them out later.
For a 22 ounce?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
What is a 22 ounce in normal measurements?
They got a Green Flash 6-packs on here for $5.99. And they've got one of Jackie O's 6-packs there, $5.99. Boulevard Brewing, their Tropical IPA was $5.99. They got some pretty cheap stuff going on.
Oh, just got to go to some.
Yeah.
I think this is a bomber.
You all right, James?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
All good.
Good. How you doing, man?
Good.
Hi, James.
All right. I take it your cold's gone away then, Rod, so you can booze again.
Pretty much. I still got a slight bit of chest when I cough, but 5 days is too long to not have a beer, so. I can't smoke a cigar yet, but that'll be next week probably.
The way you clear it out, though, is with a good Scotch whiskey, not that bourbon rubbish. You have to use the good old Scotch.
I may have to run out a little bit later to get some stuff, so maybe I'll pick up a little pint of that too.
You have to sniff in the fumes a little bit and then actually drink it. That's a good way to clear it out.
Put it into some tea.
But the question, yeah. Tea, that's
Just take it neat, huh? Just neat, or do you prefer on ice?
Oh no, you don't. I don't like putting ice in whiskey. I think that's a waste. It waters it down.
That's what I say about bourbon too. Bourbon should be neat, shouldn't be on ice or in a mixed drink. If it's good bourbon, it's like a steak, right? If it's a good steak, you don't want anything really on it if it's done properly.
Oh yeah. No, I always just say with steak, just a little bit of salt and pepper, and that's you.
Right, salt and pepper, and grill it to perfection.
Maybe some mushrooms.
Well, yeah, mushrooms. Yeah, you could mushrooms. You could grill onions on it, but I mean, the steak itself is fine if it's done.
Well, there is a thing to be said there. If the mushrooms are magic, then you do probably enjoy your food a little bit more. You know.
You probably do. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
As for a steak, wipe its arse and stick it on the plate.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And we had that out in Australia. We did that. We had kangaroo steaks, and that was amazing. But all the folk thought we were weird because the Australians, like, if they hit a kangaroo with their car, they take it home, chop it up, and give it to the dogs. But when we have our kangaroo, that we're actually eating the meat, so all the Aussies thought we were weird. But we're like, what's wrong with that? It's a beautiful meat to cook with. It makes like such a good steak. That's one of the best steaks I've had as a kangaroo steak. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one you need to try.
Yeah,
Can't be much different than when venison. Well, venison part of the world probably going to be different taste.
Like elk, kind of lean.
It's the same sort of. It's the same idea, like the same sort of texture of meat, but it does taste quite different. I don't really know how to. I couldn't really tell you unless I had them side by side, to be honest. But they do taste different.
But it doesn't taste like chicken. Because every time somebody says it's something different, like, well, it tastes like chicken.
Everything tastes like chicken except chicken.
I hear trump steaks are supposed to be quite nice.
No.
What's supposed to be nice?
Trump steaks.
Crocodile. Oh yeah, I've heard that as well.
I've had gator. I've had gator before.
I've had gator before. I actually like gator.
I actually had the other day, like the guy. I live in a little basement apartment in Sweden, and the family that live up the stairs. The dad, he goes and shoots deer. He goes hunting, and then we had some deer heart, and that was really nice. Like deer heart is lovely. That's one thing
Sounds
that you
awful
definitely
to
want to try. Oh yeah.
Did you eat it like the last of the Mohicans? Just
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I suppose we are. You know, we are Vikings here. You just put your hand in the animal and pull it out and eat it raw. Just defy the laws of physics and like one of those 1980s Japanese movies, but just with a deer.
Or like that guy off the bald-headed guy off the Hills Have Eyes, where he bites that budgie's head off.
Oh man. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, there's some really unusual foods in the world, but I think I think deer and stuff's all right. Rudolph burgers are nice. I've had reindeer burgers.
Yeah. Well, I think there's different. I mean, depending where you're at, you're always going to find like what somebody might consider weird food or something different. I was watching a special. No, it was actually somebody on Facebook. I thought, and they were actually put a video where they were overseas eating crickets, like over in Vietnam or whatever. And they saute up crickets and stuff, the protein and everything, which actually people like eat lobster here. But if you know how lobster actually is, it's no more than really eating like a large cockroach from what they actually do in the ocean and the protein that's packed into it. They're basically just scavengers down there. You're getting the same type of thing. With some countries do eat like cockroaches and stuff too. So it's just weird what you'll find in different places.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, you have to, if you go to China, Taiwan isn't as bad. I've been to Taiwan, but you go along, like, if you go on the street markets in Taiwan, like, you'll literally find anything there. Like, I mean, I've seen roasted goose heads, I've seen scorpions on little sticks and stuff, and the Chinese eat anything. Honestly, nothing. Like, no animal is safe in that country. Literally eat just anything. And then my friend, I've got a friend from Beijing here in Sweden, and he's like, "Oh, when you come to visit me, I'll take you to eat some bugs." And I'm like, "Well, no, you can fuck right off there."
Too right.
Yeah.
I'll take your word on that one.
a cheap night out.
I'll mail you some for a special video, Rod.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'll mail you some just to see if it gets past the customs.
Well, some of our people in customs, it probably would.
Yes, sir.
They're not always the brightest bulbs.
Oh. A couple fries short of a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
I actually saw it. I don't know which state it was in, but there was a video going around Facebook earlier, and it was some guy who was obviously, he was just like stoned out of his face, like he was just absolutely high as a kite on something.
Mm-hmm.
But it was in a McDonald's in America, and it was so funny because he got tasered by 3 different police officers, and he still didn't go down. He's just walking round and round in the McDonald's, and then there's this one guy there in the big white shirt with the tie and everything. He's just sitting digging into this Big Mac, and I'm just like, that guy is letting nothing get in the way of his Big Mac.
It might have been near Michael. It might have been New York that may have.
It might have been.
Nothing's going to interrupt a New Yorker they haven't seen before, so.
A lot of weird stuff goes on.
Right.
Oh yeah. It's just, you can find anything on the internet these days, honestly. It's just
Yeah, but our people, they just had the thing with Muhammad Ali's son that came back from overseas with his mom, and he was being held up by the border people at the airport for 3 hours. They went to ask him, why his name was Muhammad and all that stuff, and it's like, do you not know who his dad is? I mean, I'm sure his dad's probably Muhammad because his dad's name was Muhammad.
Hey, my dad's Muhammad Ali.
I guess the Ali didn't give it away at all, possibly.
oh dear.
Not good.
So yeah, sometimes they're not as bright that we have out there doing stuff. Which
yeah,
that goes to our politicians too, but that's a whole different story. And it's not limited to one party either.
Oh man.
They both had their ups and downs at points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the way it goes.
Don't get me in a Ronald Terrell, rant right here. Be like Jay, going on a rant here.
Oh, go for it. The stage is yours, Ross.
Or
Go
Tom,
for it.
get the beer whisperer rant going.
Let it out.
Rant and rave with Rod.
Yeah. When I get Jay or I get beer whisperer on my show, I don't have to do any rants because they do them all for us. So it's always good to go.
I have a question for Kent and Dean and James. Do you have access to stuff from Dogfish Head?
We get a couple of them in Copenhagen.
Because
I
this
can
is
go across to Denmark and get them.
This is a barley wine, and a lot of the Dogfish Head stuff is very high alcohol content. This is 15%.
Mm.
And it's pretty dangerous if you're not careful with it, because even though you can taste the alcohol, it does go down pretty good, and you have to pace yourself. Don't have one yourself. Try to share it with a friend. Not that you
take all the fun out of it.
Not that you
I bet I can do one.
I'll take that challenge.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
You definitely can do one, but you'll be feeling it.
Yeah, you just.
The gauntlet's been thrown 2 times now.
I would say if you're going to share, just buy 2 bottles.
That's
Yeah,
you can go for it.
Exactly.
But I actually do like the barley wine style. It's a little bit different than some of the other high alcohol things. Like there's a huge difference between a barley wine and a quad in how they drink. And a quad can be close to 15% also. I've seen some 12s and 13s. I mean, you can get quads that high. But it's the difference that this is made with figs and dates. So they're using fruits combined with everything else you'd put in to make the barley wine style. And it does have that kind of dried fruit kind of feel you get in some imperial stouts, except it's a little different because, it probably has a different malt base than a stout would have.
Well, I've actually found for some reason in Japan it seems to be really popular. I think Rod was telling me a few examples of it in one of the group chat things. In Japan, it's really popular. The wheat style. It's the wheat wine is getting very popular in Japan. And I've never ever tried. I've not actually tried one from America. It's like these New England style IPAs. I've had lots of Swedish and Danish ones, but I've never had one that's actually from New England. Wine's really nice as well. It's quite interesting because it's more bready. Like it doesn't have the same sort of roasty toastiness or the kind of red fruits. Like the red fruits that you get in it are a bit more kind of candied, like Haribo Star Mix. I don't know if you guys get that in the States.
I haven't seen
like
that.
Haribo. No, you don't. The German sweets, the little gummy things, Haribo.
Oh yeah, gummy bears. Yeah,
we get those. Yes.
Little gold packet. Yeah.
In the wheat, I think in the wheat wine, I don't know how the American ones are, but the Japanese ones have that sort of fruity kind of character to them. But yeah, and I know there's I think there's a good distinction with the barley wines too. I find that I find with like American beers, they always tend to be a little bit more sugary and a bit more bitter. I think it's always that. Like if you take an English barley wine, like it's a lot more earthy. You always get the big earthy hoppiness from it as well, and it's not quite as sweet. It's almost a little bit more kind of burny than the American one. The American one's distinctively more fruity and kind of sugary, I think, than the English ones. And I think even with the Scotch ales, I find that like the original Scotch ales are meant to be a bit more roasty, but the American ones are definitely more sugary and fruity.
I would say with the barley wines, I think that's the case. I've had American and English barley wines, and I definitely think it's more earthier the ones you get from the English style. And the ones here are more. It's the same way with the pale ales. The pale ales are a little more. We have some hoppy ones that are American pale ale, but compared to English, you don't really have the fruit coming through as much. It's more earthiness with it. It's more of a pininess with it than some of the American pale ales.
Yeah. I think, yeah, definitely. I think it'd be interesting to hear Craig and Dean's thoughts, but I always find that English hops have got. If you think about German noble hops, they're always a little bit floral, more kind of like flowery. You've got a little bit of grassiness and some kind of just a little bit of earthiness, but it's a kind of sweet earthiness. But the English ones are always it's always a slightly darker earthiness and more grassy. You don't get that much floral character from them, I think. That's how I've always found the English hops to be.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to what Michael was saying about Dogfish Head, we don't get a great deal of their stuff. I've seen it on Beer Jump. They had
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, they had was it their Imperial Brown, Craig? Their 60-minute, and then
yeah, the 60 and the 90.
60 and 90 are two populars. Yeah,
they disappeared more or less straight away, I think.
Yeah, I was looking last night and I was like, oh, and I'm like, oh, it's out of stock.
Well, one thing about Dogfish Head too, and it's interesting, they cut how much they were making, so they actually cut out some states. They decided to hone in on their states that they sell the most to, and I'm not sure which states. Rod, you're near Kentucky. I think Kentucky might have been one of the states they cut out. Kentucky and Tennessee.
I'm in Kentucky. We get Dogfish Head here. And
okay, so they didn't. So it's not Kentucky. Could it be Tennessee? They cut out some states, and I guess they are close to other states. Like if you're in Tennessee, you could be close to Kentucky, but it depends where you are. There are parts of Tennessee further west where you'd be pretty far away. So I mean, it depends where you are. But obviously, it's in Delaware, and they go into New England, and they go south into Virginia. They're very big in New York. I mean, it's all over the place. You can get it pretty much anytime you want. And we get some of their weirder stuff too, because they do a lot of these small batch things, and it's very limited release. But the problem is they're very pricey. Like a bottle like this, a 12 ounce, is like $4.
Right.
Which is not off the wall for a 15%er, but compared to what Rod's been paying, this is.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't have to pay $4 for Dogfish Head here.
Yeah, that's cheap. You pay about $10 for that in Sweden.
$4 for a 15% beer is damn good.
But that's actually what Michael was saying there is especially like when there are specialty beers, I'll probably pay upwards to about $3 or something for one. But like their Dogfish 60 or 90 is probably about $2.25 down here. The 120 that would actually get you up to about near $4.
That's a great buy, Rod, because here that's 8.5 for the 120.
Yeah, because a 4-pack is like I want to say close to be sort of 16, 17 hours or something like that you would pay for a 4-pack of the 120.
Now the 120, which is interesting, is a hoppy beer, but after it sits and what they do with it for as long as it is, it comes out tasting just like a barley wine. It's no longer an IPA when it gets up into those numbers. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, I'm glad you actually brought that point up, Michael, because that's what I was addressing with one of the beers Eric had the other day, which was the Great Lakes Chill Wave. It's 80 IBU, but it's not designed to be hoppy by the time it's done in the finish. The malts and everything kind of take it over where it kind of smooths it out, and it comes out to be like a barley wine or what I would call like a strong ale in the finish that you don't even realize it's a double IPA. It's real weird that they all put that stuff together like that.
Now, is it Founders that has the Devil Dancer?
Yes, Founders.
That's another thing which starts out, it's supposed to be a triple IPA, but it tastes like a barley wine when you're finished because the malt combined with the hops, and if you let it sit, it definitely gets maltier over time. Right. But even fresh, that doesn't taste hoppy.
Yeah. Yep. And the Molotov cocktail for Evil Twins is the same way. It doesn't feel like it's a double IPA. Even at the 14%, it's like it's more like a strong ale again.
Yeah, I've had the hop version of that. Is it what's the name?
You're drunk, Greg. You're drunk.
No, funnily enough, I'm not for a change. Yeah, Dogfish Head over here on Beer Jum is €4.49 for a 60-minute IPA.
Yeah.
Well, you can get the Flesh and Blood. That's still available.
Yeah, Flesh and Blood series is pretty good.
Yeah,
I like their beer for breakfast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got quite a few listed, but I guess most of them are out of stock.
There was one that said it was kind of like a red wine by them.
Yeah, they've got six on beer, John. 6 different ones. They've got the 90-minute, the Indian brown ale,
India Brown Ale.
the flesh and blood, and
Yeah, the brown ale's good.
was it the head? Was it Paolo Santo Maron?
This is Salo. Yeah, I know what you're talking
I'm butchering it up. Yeah, that's normal. That's €7.49 a bottle. That's a $3.50, I guess. So,
That's another beer that's aged in some kind of wood, I think.
Right. Yeah, I've never had anything from them guys, but there's a lot of good.
Do you get the Evil Twin stuff in England?
Yeah, I've done a review of that.
How about this one?
Yeah, I've done both.
Because they're both very good.
Yeah.
You're trying to say the Palo Santo Moran. Is that the one you were talking about, Craig?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Santo wood from Paraguay.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've had that one before.
Right. Yeah.
That's high alcohol too.
12%. Yeah.
They're all specialty beers over here. They are. You know.
Yeah. Fine one she was. I'm looking at my review that I had on Untapped on that one. That was a good one.
€7.50 for one bottle over here. So that works out probably about £6.50 a bottle, £6.50 a bottle.
Yeah, we get them. I think we pay about 50 or 60 crowns in Sweden. Probably about 50, 60 crowns. So that's about £5 odd. So then is that maybe about $7.50-ish? Probably less than that now because the pound's crap right enough.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
But yeah, I think because I don't know I don't know how much of Evil Twin stuff is still brewed in Europe. Actually, I don't know if it's. I know they brew a lot of stuff in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And I think one of the brewers here in Sweden called Popels, they've just started brewing some of the Evil Twin stuff. So that's probably going to be their kind of gateway to stay in the EU because it stops them having to do tariffs and things like that. So that's probably the way it's going to go from here.
Do you get all the stuff? Do you get all the stuff his brother brews, Mikkeller stuff too?
Yeah, I mean they're Danish breweries.
Yeah.
They're like Evil Twin was a Danish brewery. So I mean the thing in Sweden is you've got a nationalized beer store that the government own all the alcohol shops. So you've got a limited selection. But I live really close to Copenhagen, which has a free market basically, and I can go across there and pick up anything. I can go over there and just pick up whatever I want. They've got a freedom to make the selection. But I mean, it has its ups and downs. There is a little bit of downside on the selection side of things. You don't get as many beers as you might. And the annoying thing is that they can limit their beers only to be available within the county that they're from, which doesn't make sense when you've got this nationwide system. I think that's a bit stupid that when they have this infrastructure, it's not available nationwide. But it keeps the prices down. We actually get fairly cheap beers here. I mean, I'm trying to think what I've actually got. I mean, I've had I had an American beer last week. I mean, you'll pay about 30 or 40 crowns for a Founder's beer, which is cheaper than they are in the UK. Like Swedes earn maybe about an extra 60 or 70% on top of what people in the UK earn, so it does keep prices cheap. But yeah, Copenhagen has everything basically. So Copenhagen is awesome.
Hey Craig, do you see Rob's message?
Yeah, just read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to see. No real rush, but you know, appreciate that, Rob. He's obviously watching.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you guys had this one over in the States or anywhere else? It's Stillwater, and it's
I've actually seen that one, but I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, we just got this through the small partiers, like the small batch stuff in the Systembolaget. So it's it's really interesting. It's like it's 4.2%, so it's really easy. It's a saison, but they've put sake rice in it. But the sake rice, you know, it's there in the background, but it's not doing that much. It's not like the Hitachino beers or whatever that have quite a strong ricey content to it. But it's nice. It's actually just a really kind of easy drinking beer.
Yeah.
We got a lot of the Stillwater stuff here. We get a lot of the Stillwater stuff here as well. That's out of Baltimore, I think.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know where because they're a gypsy brewer. I think it doesn't say where it's actually brewed.
Yeah, I think on their stuff it says Baltimore.
Yeah. What's it saying here? Stratford, Connecticut.
Oh, so that's the same place where they brew some of the Evil Twin stuff. That's
it must have somebody up there.
What's it called? I got to think of the name of the brewer now.
I'm sure it's Two Heads Brewing or something.
I have one in my refrigerator. I'm trying to think what the name of it is. It's a good brewery, and they do a lot of contract brewing.
My thing says Baltimore Stillwater Artisanal Ales.
Well, like he said, they're a gypsy brewer. They probably brew in different locations.
They can brew in my house if they want because they make some good beer. I'll set them up a space.
Set up downstairs and
put it right in the garage. Here you go, boys. Go ahead and get to work. I almost picked up their Pink Bunny the other day. We get that here like $1.99 a can.
It's very good, by the way.
Oh, really good.
Very good. And that's 8% also, so it's solid.
Yeah, and that's a nice stout you could sell her.
Yep, it's over 8%. 8%.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the blogs I actually write for also is called Som Beer. When I get a chance, I did a piece about selling beer for them. It's great when you know which ones you can do because I used to sell a lot of beers back in a couple years ago.
Did you have any ones that turned out after you opened them, it was a mistake cellaring them?
No, I kind of knew the ones that stay in the guidelines for the kind of different ales I use. They were usually stouts or some were porters, some were old English ales they're called, or old strong ales. There were none that really kind of challenged. I had a couple that were like at 6.5%. So I kind of pushed it on those, and those would actually come out to be as fine as well. But I had one from that Golden Corollas Noel that I picked up here one time. I don't know if you guys ever had that. Golden Corolla.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah. My one place when I got it was like $12.99 a case. So I picked it up, and this is like a 12%. Great tasting beer. It's like considered it's in that book, one of the beers you must taste before you die or whatever. But it's got a great feel. It's usually a holiday beer. And I had that for probably a couple years that I had different versions I was pulling from, and it was really good. But I've only seen it one time in the U.S. because we don't usually get them over here.
I've heard of it, but I've never
seen it. Stout I did too. That Ford Extra Stout was great aged from Guinness.
I still think you guys are wasted with that Guinness stuff. There's so many better stouts in Ireland.
Yeah, look, it's just a Guinness stout. That's all. The Ford Extra Stout is my favorite stout from them, though.
How is the Murphy's?
Murphy's.
Have you heard of it? How about what's another one? What's another Irish stout? And how is that?
Awful.
It's awful. I mean, compared to what you can get from the craft breweries, they're just not good. There's so many better beers in Ireland than that.
But you like Guinness, right?
I never would drink it.
You don't like any of the Guinness?
It doesn't.
Guinness regular Guinness versus the Ford Extra Stout. The regular Guinness kind of lost its appeal, but the Ford Extra Stout is a pretty good one, I think.
I don't think Guinness tastes the same outside of Ireland because a lot of it's brewed under license in different countries, and I honestly don't think the stuff that's brewed outside of Ireland tastes the same.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, and then a lot of people counteract it and say it's a bit of a myth. I mean, I don't know. I haven't had Guinness in another country because the chances are, I'm going to a hot country. I don't want a beer like that, so I stay away from it. But
they're going to open their first brewery in the United States this year.
Yeah, it's going.
Where at, Michael?
Going to Baltimore.
In Baltimore area. Now we'll get to see once we try it if you're right. Although I've never had it in Ireland, so I can't compare.
But the one that's opening here is going to be more focused on American beers. So like their Guinness Blonde, the Guinness Rye, the stuff they're doing with these Explorer packs, they're not getting them in other parts of the world. They're trying to focus they're trying to get people in that aren't getting the stouts. So they're trying to try other stuff to draw them into trying other Guinness beers.
Guinness is making a big push here.
Yeah, they want to get more people in because a lot of people think of Guinness is just that stout, and they're not a stout fan. They're not going to try it, but if they can open up other lines, it's going to help them. They see it's going to help them get more people in.
Did anybody try the Guinness Nitro thing that came out? It was available in the United States. It may have been available in Europe too. It was a Guinness IPA, I think. Nitro.
I can still get the Nitro IPA, Mike.
Okay, now I didn't like it. I know Jay thought it was great. I thought it was awful.
I've never even heard of that one, right enough.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's one of the ones they're doing here, I think, in America because Nitro is so big now.
Yeah, I see it still on the shelves here. I can get it.
Did you taste it? Or not?
I haven't. I haven't bought it yet. No.
Okay, because I like somebody else.
I haven't picked it up either because I just heard so many mixed reviews on it.
I had it with my friend, and it became a drain pour. That's how bad it was.
I'd probably try it at some point because I don't let other ratings usually influence me. But Untapped has an average rating of 3.05, which is kind of low on Untapped. I mean,
I could see where somebody could like it, I guess, because Jay likes everything, but it's still.
He'll tell you he does not like it. There's some beers I don't like.
I know, but he likes so many beers that I have problems with. So it's like, we could get into discussion, but he has the right to drink anything he wants.
Right.
Guinness. Getting back to Guinness, they have this right down here at Myers, which is just Rod, I'm sure you probably got Myers in your area, don't you?
Yeah, I got one down here.
Yeah, Myers is just basically a big, huge grocery store, and they have this humongous. Well, the last time I looked, they had this humongous display for Guinness. They got their regular draft, they got the stout, they have the blonde, the rye, they got one more. I think that's just takes up. I bet it's probably 15, 20 feet wide of just all their beers that they make. Well, they're making a big push here.
So that store is the one that they're going to appeal to, hoping to get more distribution of more beers they're going to come out with over the next few years, I would guess. And that's it. And they're going to be competing with, I guess, craft beer. I guess.
Well, they're going to try different stuff. I mean, they were actually, when the story came out, one of the guys, the owners of Heavy Seas was actually talking. And he was actually encouraged by them coming in because it opened up more opportunities in Baltimore to try different styles of beer. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to clash as much against some of the craft brew because they got great craft breweries out in Baltimore.
I've been to the Heavy Seas Brew Pub. It's a wonderful place to go.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff. A lot of very high quality beers.
Like DJ on DJ's Brew Tube, he's out of Baltimore, so he does a lot of their beers from that area. Like Duclaw's out of Baltimore area, and they're really good in their stuff.
It's a good brewing area for sure.
Yeah.
And Stillwater definitely does some stuff there because I've had a couple that came from Baltimore.
And technically, Dogfish is Dover, Delaware, but anybody that knows the Northeast knows that's not hop, skip, and a jump from Baltimore anyway.
It's not that far, just a couple of hours.
Right, so you must throw that in the region as well.
Is Delaware not the oldest state in America, if I remember right?
What state in America?
Is Delaware not the oldest state?
Yes, it's the first state to ratify the Constitution, but we have to take into account there were only 12 people living there at the time, which gave them an advantage. It was harder to get the other legislators together in the bigger state. I'm kidding about 12, but I mean in comparison to the other states, it had the lowest population. It's a very small geographic state.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
it's just right next to Maryland, isn't it?
It's right across the river from New Jersey, which is another state, which is, not a great brewing state, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I grew up in New Jersey, but I don't know what they're brewing. Although, if you ever try Spellbound, let me know because my high school buddy opened that brewery and I haven't got a chance, but people are telling me it's a great beer.
I've never tried it.
Yeah, but they're out of South Jersey.
Probably in the Camden area, I would guess. That's the biggest city in South Jersey.
Well, well, we grew up in Burlington. We were like 20 minutes from Camden, but I forgot where he told me the brewery was. I'll have to look on here and see where it's located at.
I've been to one called Flying Fish, which is near Camden, which was very good in Jersey before. Because New York is just on the other side of the other river.
Yeah. No, he's actually in Mount Holly, New Jersey, with his brewery.
Okay, but we're near North Jersey because New York is on, right opposite North Jersey, and the Jersey suburbs are counted as part of metropolitan New York, so they're very close.
Yeah,
but there's a toll involved when you come across by car. You have to come across through a tunnel or a bridge, and it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got good friends in New Jersey that went to Rutgers and things, and we always just used to get the train into the city.
Yeah, it's not that far. It's about an hour probably by train.
Yeah,
I can't remember how much it was to go there.
I mean, they used to run trains all up and down from New York all the way down to D.C. that people commute to work in different spots.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember we got the train from New York down to Washington, and it was like we went into Philadelphia, and the train's just going through these. I can't remember what film it is I've seen, but I've seen something about Philadelphia, and it's like the gang areas. And I'm just like, the train's just going really, really slowly, like through this bit that I'm thinking it's like the gang area, and I'm, because I'm like 16 or 17, like I don't really know better, and I'm sitting in the train, like I'm like, oh shit, this is like what you see on the TV. This is bad America. So, yeah.
I guess they're talking about the north side of Philadelphia.
Probably so.
Probably is better now than it was when he went through when he was 16, although there are some still rough areas of Philadelphia that are still there. So it's not like it's great, but it's
well, Camden's got rough areas still too.
Yeah. I mean, the last time I was in the States, I was 18, so that was like 7 years ago now. So yeah, I mean, I need to figure out when to get back or something. It'd be cool to go out to California maybe and have a rake around the breweries and things out there. I mean, I've seen a lot of the Northeast. I've been to something like, I think in total, but I've just, because my dad used to like love going to America, and we just used to get a car and drive around. So I've been to some really random places like Little Rock, Arkansas, Poplar's Bluff, Kentucky, and all of this. I've been to really random places in America.
The West Coast is a good place to visit, especially if you like those dank IPAs, and you get all kinds of stuff brewed out there, not just IPAs too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think my next trip out that way is going to be I think I want to go to Vancouver, and because my grandpa trained for the war in a little place called Medicine Hat near Calgary in Alberta. So I think we'll probably fly out. I think the missus and I will maybe go out to Vancouver and explore that way, and maybe go down into Seattle, and then another time we'll go and do Oregon and California probably.
Yeah.
It's a case of when, because there's so much. There's quite a lot of Japan still to explore, and Korea as well. So too much, but we'll see. Still got a lot. I've still got a lot of Europe to see as well. There's still lots of things to do over here. So it's just a case of figuring out timing and things.
So much in the world,
and not enough time to do everything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like, do it now before we start screwing up places.
The other thing is, you just need to hope that Japoscots don't get in the way of traveling for a little bit.
I'll be right back. I'll show you one more thing.
Yeah, South America is another one. I've got one of my subscribers is from Brazil, and there's a lot of really good beers coming out of Brazil and Chile and Argentina these days. So I think that might be the next thing, because Argentina has got the sort of weather quite in certain parts. It's got weather quite similar to like the Pacific Northwest of the States. So I reckon there might be a lot of, at some point in the future, I think there's going to be a lot of experimentation there with hops and things. And of course, in Brazil, you've got all these random fruits that grow in the the tropical environment that they've got there. So I think there'll be some interesting beers from South America in the next 10 years or so.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of
Yeah,
I've noticed a lot of activity. I picked up a lot of people follow me on Instagram from down there with a lot of different beer stuff happening. So
yeah,
it could be a nice next place to take a look at.
Argentina, Argentina is, I think, one of those places that tightly controls their what happens with everything down there.
Rod, are you able to get this?
What is that one?
This is
we get that.
Point.
We get. I haven't had it yet, but we get that here as well.
Can you get that in Europe?
What is it?
Ballast.
Who's
It's a Ballast Point Nitro Red Velvet.
Nitro.
We get Ballast Point, but not that one. I don't think.
I think I've seen that one here.
It's low ABV. It's only 5.2, I think, and they tell you to pour it in the center of the glass, as they do with all these nitros, and you get your Guinness show. You know, the old Guinness look where you get your comes back up in a big whatever. But the key is, what does it taste like? I mean, I don't care what it looks like, because you probably could manufacture that look without doing it on nitro.
Yeah,
you wanted just the look, but I'm not sure. It's supposedly it's supposed to be like a red velvet cake when you pour it into the glass. The way it comes up. I haven't tried it yet, but I will let you know.
Yeah.
See what that tastes like.
There's really not a lot. I can't think of any breweries in Europe really that are doing this nitro thing. It's just not popular over here.
Yeah, it's been a big American thing for sure.
Especially in the breweries out west, in Denver, out in Colorado, they've been doing it, and a lot of breweries have been doing it. It's a pretty.
Is it supposed to keep the beer fresher longer?
I think it's just a mouthfeel thing. Is it not?
Well, when you do the nitro, it makes it a creamier texture. So
yeah, I've noticed that.
It has a layer of sweetness to it.
My impression was that it was to kind of mimic the old sort of cask ale mouthfeel that you get in the UK. I thought that's
creamy. The old cask ale will be creamy.
Yeah, that's the impression I got, was that was a false, like a sort of way to do that in America, because I think there's something to do with the environment over there that it's just too hot, I think, in a lot of America to actually condition beers that way.
Well, I think over here, Left Hand is so popular, and they do all of theirs like in that type of style, pretty much, that I think other companies might be trying to now copy to catch on to what they've been doing. So I think that might play into it as well, because they have drawn a lot of attention with their nitro beers. But like when you go to Guinness, I believe in Ireland, like they don't pour it using a nitro. When you get because you can get certified as a Guinness pourer, and how to serve Guinness properly. And it's the whole 120-second pour, where you pour some, you let it settle, then you pour on top, and that causes a cascade effect. So they don't use that gimmick at the brewery, it seems, when I saw them actually do that before on that TV.
I don't think I've seen. We need to have a wee look into that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can be certified as a actual Guinness pourer. Or Guinness server. I don't know if pourer is the right word or not, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dean, you've been pretty quiet over there.
I'm this Schneider device is slowly absorbing me.
Which one is it you've got?
Watching, Peter. Thank you very much, mate. It's bloody lovely.
I need to get some of this beer.
I've got the Aventina Sizebock.
I still need to try that one. I heard that's good.
Oh, it's phenomenal, James. Phenomenal stuff, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take off here, guys. I got my drunken karaoke night I got to get to.
Eric, have fun.
Have fun.
Take care, guys. Thanks for having me on, Dean.
Have somebody take some videos so we can see it on YouTube.
Thanks for having me on, Dean.
All the best.
Catch you later, dude.
Take care.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Ciao.
Yep.
What's going on here?
Rod, I have another question.
Break somewhere.
What do you think about this latest example of the Goose Island Bourbon Barrel Series, this 2016, which was pasteurized. Do you think the fact it was pasteurized will have any effect on how long you can cellar it?
Well, I mean, with pasteurization, you would think it would be able to help in that regard, but you were able to cellar it before. So I don't know if it's something that might be an overkill on that type of thing. I actually didn't get any Goose Island this year just because I'm not a person. I don't wait. There's so many beers. I'm not a person that waits in line for beer and get caught up in the hype. So I got it last year because I just wanted to try it. It is a good beer, but I want to move on to other things as well. But
was all yours good though in the 2015? Because that was the year that they had issues, and I ended up returning some of. I didn't return it. They just gave you a refund on some of the barley wine and the coffee, and then some of the stout at the end. They gave a refund, but you had to provide in the secondary one. You actually had to provide proofs of purchase. The first ones they just asked you what you bought, and you got a refund.
And I knew people that actually said their beer was fine, and they still said it anyway. I was like, yeah, that's kind of shady to me. But mine were actually fine. I had the stout and I had the barley wine. And I had no ill effects from it at all. I think Jay might have thought one of his might have been affected or something. But I thought they were good. I enjoyed both of them. I think it's quality. Sometimes people give Goose Island shit just because they've sold out part of their company. But they still make good beer, so I'm still going to drink some of their offerings. I like Sophie, I like Matilda, I like some of the other stuff they're doing, and I do want to try some of the other. Now I'll try some of the other Bourbon County stuff if I see it, like that they have some of the other type of versions. But
the other ones are much harder to find.
Yeah,
because you can get the coffee sometimes, you can get the stout and the barley wine all the time, but the other ones you just have to be lucky because people are willing to pay more money and they buy them up.
Yeah. I wonder if the pasteurization was more of an effect to make people feel more better about trying to buy it this year. You know, just
maybe
more of the ease concern, saying, "Hey, it's pasteurized. You can trust in buying it this time."
Maybe I'll have to let you know. I haven't had a 2016 yet. I have friends who've had them, and they say they're up to snuff. It's also very good. Yeah. I'll let you know after I try one how it is. I'm sure it's going to be high quality. They've never not been high quality.
But I see these guys that get them now and they hold them and sell them and they resell them to some other people like 2 years later or something. Because the price goes up when they actually sell them, when the value of stuff. And it's like, just sit there and create like a black market on beer. I'm like, who has time to do all that? I mean, you know, I'm just only enjoy the beer. But some people, they get enough of when they create black markets on what they want to sell them for. And I've seen some of the prices on some of the trade sites were pretty hefty.
Well, you look at some of these beer traders and the stuff that they trade, and it gets to the point where it can be, you know, outrageous, the prices that they actually are getting for the swapping that they're doing.
Right.
And I'm not saying there's money involved.
I think James mentioned that, didn't you, James, about people jumping in their minibus and getting all their friends and family to buy beers and stuff.
Yeah, in Belgium they do that with the what do you call it? What's the one? Roquefort, is it not?
Yeah, those are the ones in different numbers. There's an 8,
West Fletcher, that's it.
12.
That's what I mean. Yeah, West Fletcher. It was West Fletcher. I mean, because you can only buy like one crate every 6 months or something, so they just go and buy different things. They just
maybe that stuff they're selling also. Maybe they're selling those and selling those also, or trading them, or doing whatever with what they get.
Yeah. It's a good way to make money. Actually, is just to buy a crate of the West Fletcher beers and then sell them on.
Yeah.
Because there is demand for it. That's why it's a hard thing to get. I don't see those in the United States. Not that there may not be some places, but they're not common here.
Yeah.
They may be available. Maybe I just don't see them. I do most of my beer buying at the food co-op that I belong to, which you have to be a member to go and shop. So it restricts the amount of people. But there are 17,000 members, so it's a big food co-op. Okay. And that's where I get most of my beer. I get beer also in, local grocery stores sell it. In New York, you can buy beer pretty much all the time, except from 8 o'clock till 12 on Sunday morning. we have a blue law. Other than
Yeah,
that, in
yeah.
New York State, you can buy it any other time. If the store is 24 hours, you can buy it at 5:55. You just can't buy it at 8 on Sunday morning. Isn't that weird? In other words, they have a set time, 4 hours. So I guess that's when you're worshiping. So, or supposedly.
Supposedly.
So you can't buy.
Some
But you
people
can,
aren't worshiping, but it's not the God they're thinking of. It's the porcelain.
I know. But what I'm saying is you can buy between Saturday and Sunday before. If you got there at 7:58, they would have to sell it to you. But at 8 o'clock until noon, you can't buy any. And to me, it seems silly.
Well, in Kentucky, we have, depending on what county you're in, you can't buy beer in a store until 11 or 12. Or I think even one of them might be 1 o'clock on Sundays.
And my wife went down to Tennessee, to Lynchburg, to the Jack Daniels distillery, and it's in a dry county. So inside, they're allowed to serve it, but there can't be windows. It's like a brick mortar building with no windows, because if any of the locals come to the side, they can't see you drinking. So can you imagine? That's hypocrisy if I've ever seen it. They can do it in the county, but they have to get a special auspices and nobody else can see, as if people don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And you can't buy you can't buy it anywhere in the county because it's a totally dry county. So it has to get shipped from Lynchburg to another county in Tennessee or Kentucky or somewhere else if you want to drink it. They'll give it to you for free to try, but they can't sell it in the county.
That's
I'm sure there are other dry counties in Arkansas and other places in the country as well, but Tennessee at least has that county that's dry.
Yeah, we got some dry counties in Kentucky still.
Yeah, we've got a few really weird things in Sweden too that come because of this nationalized beer structure. Like if you own like a winery or a brewery or something like this, you're not, from what I heard, like you're not allowed to sell your own beers and wines and things on site, because the rule is that anything above 3.5% has to be sold through the government shops. So if you have and even if you have a bar on site, from what I heard, you have to sell your stuff to Systembolaget and then buy it back. Even if you're actually, so it has to, if you make wine, it has to go to Stockholm and then be brought back. There's some like really weird things I've heard like that. I don't know if all of them are true right enough, but I've heard some like really random things coming out of the.
So that's the government wanting to make their pound of flesh off what you're doing. So they're like taxing you and forcing you to buy it back to sell it, which seems crazy.
Well, it's just that's kind of normal. In Sweden, you do pay quite a bit of taxes and things, but you know, you get free education, you get free healthcare, you get everything. It's actually, I think it's the alcohol laws, I think, are daft, but the way that the country actually works, I think, is a lot better than other places. We're actually very lucky here, to be honest.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like, I don't think like here. I mean, I see it. I've seen a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of this stuff that was going on with the. Like Bernie Sanders and things. Oh, Sanders wants to tax the shit out of us. In Sweden, they were saying, oh, in Sweden they pay so much in tax, that they were actually quoting figures, and I was like, and I was just thinking, that's because in Sweden they'll earn about 2 or 3 times as much as you will in America. But like the tax rate is only, I mean, the most tax you'll pay is about, I think the highest one is 60%, but that's only if you earn absolutely stupid money. I have to admit, I don't think anyone should be taxed more than half of what they earn, because I think that kind of takes away the point of working, to be honest. But you know, I think in the States, if you guys, from when I looked up, you guys are paying 40% tax. Most people will pay that band as well, but you get a lot more for it, I think.
Well, in the U.S., they used to have at one point it was up to like 72% you could have to pay. So.
Supposedly,
people don't realize in America how things are separated out. Like over you're in Sweden, you have the one tax thing, but in America they separate out between federal and state and FICA and Medicare, all this stuff. So people get nickel and dime. They don't. If they put it all together, they'd be paying a lot more than they even realize.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing in the States. It's actually more expensive for you guys to pay your private healthcare than it would be just to pay more taxes and have a health system. because my mum and dad looked at moving over to the States just after they got married, actually, but they never did it. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I would have been, you know, if I'd gone to university in the States, you're looking at like $100,000 worth of debt and things, and like as it stands, I've got like no debt basically. So I don't know. Plus, I mean, you have, as you say, you've got all the healthcare and stuff, and you actually earn more over here than you would in the States as well. You get more holidays, you know, and you get a better pension, I think, as well. I think it's, yeah, I don't know. I have to admit, like, looking back on it and looking at the way it's gone, I don't know why my mum and dad ever would have considered it, but I don't know.
Because it's freedom, James. It's freedom.
Yeah. I'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys. Just a sec.
I thought you were going to get a rope out then, Rod.
Yeah. If you had Jay here, Jay would have put up a fight against him, I'm sure. But
By the way, has Jay been on this before?
I don't know. I don't think Jay's been on Dean's. He's been on some with the UK. I don't know. Has he been on your show before? I know he's done stuff with you and the other UK guys.
This is Jay Terrio.
No, I don't think he has. No, I don't think he has. I mean, I've put messages out before to him, so you know he's more than welcome to come on. You know, I like him. I watch his videos. He's a cool guy. So
he's been to my house.
Oh, when he came to New York, he came to see you up there?
He came to see me, and he set me up for my other friendship with my other beer reviewer that I go to his house. So, I mean, he gave me a link to this guy, Doug, who was a close friend.
Good.
And sometimes, whatever it takes. I mean, it just seems like it leads from one thing to another, and you meet other beer aficionados through different means than you normally expect. We had a good time with the beer tasting. Jay is cool. He's just He's opinionated.
Yeah, which is nothing wrong with that at all.
No, it's fine. Look,
more people need to do it, not just follow.
We were just discussing the United States. At least one thing about the United States, you have the right to say what you want so far. And I guess we'll see as time goes on if that's but so far we have the right to say.
So far we still have that one left.
Where are you going with that one?
No, we're not gonna start discussing politics, but I do respect the presidency itself, and it doesn't mean I voted for him, but the system has a way of working itself out. I think it will this time too.
No.
Only time will tell, though, for sure. I mean,
it's only been 5 weeks, but it feels a lot longer.
And look how much action we've had in the 5 weeks.
5 years, yeah, Rod. 5 years.
Rod, does it seem like 5 years the last 5 weeks?
People are posting like he thinks he's on The Apprentice. Every week, someone's getting kicked off the team. You know? Like these people are supposed to be leaving like every week. You don't replace people every week.
He has like a rotate. He has a rotating.
He got a bit of sticks the other day, didn't he? When he was he wearing a bomber jacket and a flight cap or something like that?
Oh yeah, he was talking to one of our Air Force bases, and whenever the presidents usually go, they usually prepare him with a jacket and a hat. I mean, Obama got it, and Bush got it, and all the guys. But it's becoming like reality TV. All that stuff happening, and now you got even W's come out who never really says anything about any other president. Usually, he's, he kind of believes in if one is president, you let them go their course. But now he's making comments now, coming out and doing interviews.
He just accused Obama of wiretapping during the campaign.
Yeah, he accused him of wiretapping his hotel
during the campaign
because Breitbart wrote an article saying it. So he's taking the stuff from Breitbart. They got no other evidence or anything to back it up.
But he says a lot of stuff which he doesn't have anything to back up. So, I mean, it's just, he says it, throws it on the wall, and he hopes that people believe it. And his ardent supporters believe it. And that's the problem. And it's not like it's most of the country, but it's enough that he got elected in the electoral system that we have. And that's just, the way it goes. You win some and you lose some. We just hope we don't lose it all. So.
Yeah,
I don't mean to be flighty. I'm just saying, if you're an American and you believe in the system, it should have a way of working itself out.
Right.
But I feel less.
That also takes into account when we have both parties talking to each other and trying to do stuff too in the past. Nothing about this is going to be like normal to what we've been accustomed to.
No, it's going to be a strange 4 years or less if he does get removed. Yeah. But I don't think President Pence would be a positive step either. So I mean, it's like we have 4 years to go through either way. So
that'd be out of the fire into the frying pan, wouldn't it, with him?
Well, you know what you're getting. He's at least a politician, but what you're getting is, somebody who, I don't know, basically anti-Darwin, anti-everything. Doesn't believe.
Every home type guy.
Climate change cannot exist because it's bad for big business.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So Dean, I'm going to go too. Thanks a lot for letting me come on your channel. And Rod,
you're welcome.
Rod, if you
nice to meet you.
If you give me the links, Rod, I'll come back in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks a lot. You take care. I'll see you on another future adventure.
All right, Michael, take it easy.
Bye.
Cheers. He's a nice guy, he is, Rod.
Yeah. Why didn't Peter come up? Peter's like putting messages up there.
I forgot all about the messages.
He says he can't do. He must be getting run around or something. He's doing probably something with the wife, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I did have some communication with him before I set this up, and he was unsure about it because I think we're doing something next week, the Pilsner Miracle. So you're more than welcome to jump on that one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, next Saturday we're going to be doing that. And I know you said you can get hold of that, so you're more than welcome.
The Pilsner Curl I can usually get with no problem. I've actually got a Pilsner Curl mug too, so.
Oh, wow, wicked! I did have one of their like fluted pint glasses, but the missus broke it.
Oh, I just broke my my no-nick glass the other day. It's like, it's my favorite beer glass, and now that one's gone. It's like,
is that tulip glass or?
It was the English pint, the no-nick or non-nick.
Okay.
Yeah, I broke the only one that I had, so I have to get another one at some point. But Harry's probably off working too. He's probably resting now.
Yeah, I mean, like Craig said, it's a bit hit and miss on a Saturday. You either get bombarded by people or you don't get anybody because they're doing things and stuff. It's a bit awkward.
Yeah. Peter said Michael reminds him of an older James. Fair enough.
Well, I mean, equally, they're both knowledgeable people when it comes to beer. By the sounds of what Michael was saying, he seems to know his stuff.
Trying to see if anybody else is there. Probably get Tom on. Tom might be on. You want me to get Tom, Beer Whisperer?
If you want to.
Let's see here.
Or Jay. Is Jay about?
Jay's actually, I think, he's watching baseball games. He's traveling, watching some of the college baseball games, I think, right now.
Okay.
Do this here. Link.
I think Craig's going to pop back on in a bit.
Let's see who else. Yeah, I sent it to see if Tom might be around too. He just did a video a little bit ago, so he might be there.
Okay.
But you got any big plans this weekend?
No, not really. Just chilling out. You know, the usual Sunday lunch tomorrow, a few beers, and then it's back to the well, jumping back on the hamster wheel for work again, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Just a vicious circle.
Peter heard my comment, I guess. I guess he's still watching. He said, be quiet, guys. She has the belt at the ready.
Quality. He's quality.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty funny. But there's been a lot of newer beer reviewers popping up, though, online.
What, your side?
Yeah, I keep seeing, like, if I see different people are popping up, which is pretty cool, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, I just recently spoke to a lady. Her name now. I think I spoke to
Holly Colt. Joe LLY.
I can't remember her name. She her last video, it was a Ballast Point beer, a coconut porter.
See who that was. That might have been Holly.
Yeah, it might be. But she makes some really good videos.
Yeah. I said, if it is, let me see what Holly did last. She just started out a while ago, too. Yeah, she did a coconut. That's who it was. It was Holly. The Victory at Sea. Yeah. I should see if she's around. She might join us. Let me see.
Yeah, we've got Tonya as well, maybe.
Yeah. Let me see here.
I'd like to chat to Terry as well, but I don't think he's got a Facebook page with anything to get in contact with him.
YouTube, maybe.
Yeah.
It's Terry. Let me see. Yeah, I like to talk to Terry. We've never had him on the chat. Yeah.
I'm back and I'm armed.
What did you make? A sandwich? What kind of sandwich?
You made me hungry now, James. I'm going to go and get something to eat, mate.
All right. Oh no, I just made a wee. My girlfriend always calls me from Japan in the morning when she's walking to the train, so that's why I always pop off around this time. But I just went before I came back when I was hungry. I felt like sandwich. Yeah. But yeah, no, we should be getting her moved over to Sweden next summer, which will be nice. Hi, Tom.
You be ready? Is that Tom there?
Hey guys, yeah, I just cut the invite. I was in the kitchen. I heard the Dean message come in. I was marinating some fried chicken, or some chicken that I was going to fry later. I guess it's not already fried. I'll get some chicken thighs ready.
I was gonna say, is that what you call it nowadays? But you're actually making chicken, okay?
Oh, you must have saw my post today, yeah.
What was your post today?
That might be tomorrow's post. Oh, I made the post. I've decided until Lent's over, every day I'm going to post something else I'm giving up. As a joke, obviously.
I saw your Lent post. That was funny.
I did a giving up Lent for Lent, and then yesterday I posted I'm giving up hypocrites for Lent, so you won't see me at church or a Trump rally. And then today I posted, for Lent, I decided to give up spanking my monkey unless, the monkey really needs to be punished. I keep telling my wife, I said, I think I'm absolutely hilarious. I don't understand why everybody doesn't think so. She just shakes her head when I do that kind of stuff.
You
My
get
poor
some likes,
wife.
get some thumbs up and likes on the Facebook.
So what's our beer topic today?
We were just drinking and talking beer.
Just freestyling.
And
it,
munching
Tom.
sandwiches.
You know Dean, Dean and James, right, Tom? You met Dean and James before, right?
Dean. Yeah, I don't think I've done a video with Dean before. I don't think I've been on the same video with Dean. I think I've got both you guys on Facebook though, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I know I've watched reviews from both y'all.
I jumped on one of your live Facebook videos. I think it was last week. You did.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. Yeah, I've been drinking since then. Guys, I'm gonna get up and grab a beer, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Whose hangout is this, by the way?
Dean's.
Oh, right. Okay, I wasn't sure. I just kind of came on.
Yeah, Craig sent me a message saying he wanted to, well, for an hangout. Like, I thought, yeah, I'll do something. Send
Where
a few
did Craig
links
go
out.
anyway?
I think he's got family around, so he's gonna pop back on in a bit.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, I looked on Terry's thing, but there's no way to send him a thing on YouTube. He doesn't have his thing listed.
Oh, Terry Key, the beer goggles guy.
No, Terry Quick Beer Reviews.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Me and Dean were saying it'd be good to get him on, but we can't contact him.
Yeah, he does mainly real ale beers and things like that.
Yeah.
And he usually replies to my stuff each week. I usually talk to him through the video stuff, but I'll have to ask him for his email so we can invite him on.
I did send Joey Fort a message as well, but he's working.
So.
Yeah.
You must be feeling better, RJ.
Yeah, well, yeah. I still got a little bit of cough. Huh?
Did you try the chicken shooters?
Didn't have the chicken shooters, but 5 days was enough, so I had to break that streak. So
yeah, you sound better today than you did the other night when you were on the other one.
Yeah, and technically, NyQuil does have alcohol in it, so I did drink over those days.
Oh, there you go.
I just didn't kill it like Betty Ford.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I bypass the NyQuil for a hot toddy. I just make my own.
Yeah.
I find Wild Turkey does a much better job than NyQuil, but that's just my personal preference.
I just didn't have the whiskey in the house, but I had the hot tea here.
Oh, there you go. That works.
I didn't feel like going out to get the whiskey.
Oh, here's Craig back.
Sorry about that.
There he is.
It's all good.
Go on, Craig.
Hello.
Well, heck, RJ, we're outnumbered now. We've got has there been a coup? We've got the other side of the pond overtaking us.
Well, it's Dean's channel, so we're on his yard now.
How you doing, Tom?
Hey, what's going on? Well, thanks for inviting me into your channel, Dean. I appreciate it, bud.
That's all right, mate. No worries. More the merrier.
Yeah, I try to get Holly and Tanya and see if they'll come in.
Just done a couple of reviews as well I thought, well, I'd just get them out of the way.
I got like 3 reviews queued up. I just haven't uploaded them yet.
Yeah, that's what I was doing
so
too. I went outside to do a couple of videos and came in and heard the phone ding and saw it was you guys.
Yeah. I'm well ahead now. It's like
it's about 70 degrees out here today in the Ozarks, which is, very crazy for this part of the country.
Yeah, we had snow this morning. People were wrecking. And by the time I had to go to work today, by the time I got done work, it was like back almost to the 50s. And you wouldn't have told it even snowed.
Wow, that's crazy.
We're supposed to be back in the mid 60s by this week. So, yeah, good thing there's no such thing as that global warming.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that shit. Jesus.
Yeah, who wants to pay? Who believes that sciencey stuff anyway?
I mean, just because Antarctica is 63.5 degrees and set a record the other day.
Well,
don't make like it's happening.
Let me just say, I hope all your houses are at an altitude above 167 feet, because otherwise you're going to get very wet.
Yeah. Sheets of ice are tearing apart on Antarctica and causing issues, but nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I still, Craig, do you remember that Scottish comedian Frankie Boyle? Like it was really funny. It was bad, but it was funny. It was Frankie Boyle. Like they asked him about global warming, and he said on like live British TV, he's like, "Why would I care about global warming? In Scotland, we'll just go up the mountains and watch the English drown." It was like, oh dear.
It was. He does come out with some things.
He's a bit of a nut job, like, but he's.
Yeah, I think he was famed for his dig at Jordan's kid.
Yeah.
I know he took that a bit far, like. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a tad.
Yeah,
But,
just
yeah.
a wee bit. Yeah.
He's a bit controversial, but yeah.
He just likes
global warming. Yeah, we'll see. Is it a political agenda rather than, you know?
Oh no, I mean,
Of course, it's not political. I mean, science is science, man.
I know he gets hot as shit now, a lot more than I remember.
Science isn't political. Of course, it's not a political agenda.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
But they do use it though for policy.
Oh, they politicize it all over the place. Yeah.
I mean, for me as a scientist, I'm just kind of like, you know, you only really need to understand high school chemistry and physics to get the idea of what's going on. I mean, the problem is the energy that comes in from the sun. It isn't strong enough to basically break water or carbon dioxide molecules, so they vibrate around, give out a lot of heat instead of breaking up. That's your problem. If there's more carbon dioxide in the air, then the effect is kind of exacerbated. So it's basic, you know, it's like high school level physics and chemistry. It's
What about solar streams though? I mean, because the sun's in a period of quiet at the moment, sunspot wise.
Yeah, it's kind of like
solar quiet.
Yeah, but the sun's luminosity and energy output is relatively similar anyway, and you know, it's more to do with
less CMEs and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, global warming, I think, is a certainty, but and the human involvement of it is a certainty.
Right.
The question is exactly what the macro effects are going to be, because I mean, I've been doing meteorology this semester, and you know, the big problem is there's a lot of anomalies that happen just randomly, because a lot of you know, meteorology is one of these things that it's a bit of a mindfuck really to kind of think about it, because there's so many variables that can come in, and you know, every so often you'll get three or four variables that just come together and make something absolutely mental happen. And
the thing,
you know, you get these really random things.
Yeah, I mean, the global warming theory, I mean, they only seem to look so far back into the past. So, I mean, but there's been lots of kind of natural climate variation before humans could have an effect on it. So, what would cause that then?
Well, I mean, the same effect happened really. I mean, you had like basically in the volcanic times, a lot of the reasons, you know, life started out on Earth around like hydraulic vents and things like that. So you had a lot of volcanic activity, SO2 and CO2 and things like that in the air. I mean, when the dinosaurs were around, the Earth was a lot hotter than it is now. because there was more CO2 and more volcanic activity and things like that. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of factors at play, and a lot of the natural events that have gone on. It's because of, there's a whole host of things. Like you can have a lot of the CO2 and things is volcanic activity and stuff that lets that come out. And there's undersea volcanic activity and all this kind of thing. But there is a lot of stuff that we don't fully understand yet. I mean, you saw just the other day, there's like they've discovered like the 8th continent. The 7th or 8th continent.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, in terms of geology, they've just found out that New Zealand and Indonesia or something is the 8th continent or whatever. I'll put a link in this thingy. I'll find that for you. Because like New Zealand, it turns out that New Zealand and some other things aren't part of the continent of Oceania in Australasia.
Well, the Titanic plates are different, I guess. Part of the same one.
Yeah. What's it called?
I mean, not a lot of people know that there's actually there is a volcanic melting of some parts of Antarctica that's actually under the ice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hence the breakup.
Yeah.
But that's never put on mainstream news. It's like so they're using it as an agenda.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, that's one of the big controversies with the EU, isn't it? A lot of people are arguing. I mean, I can see the point you're making about the climate change being an agenda, because I think a lot of folk a lot of the left-wing parties are kind of using it as an excuse to
charge you money on certain
integration in Europe. I think that's what a lot of them are doing. There's a lot. You'll find that a lot of like political parties argue that because environmental policy and economic policy are really interlinked.
Yeah.
They're using that as an excuse to kind of to sort of centralize more power, and that's what's annoying a lot of people about the EU. So, yeah.
Heavy conversation. Cool.
I like beer and bacon better.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, I think you're leaving out the right-wing portion of that argument as far as politics goes, is that the right wing wants the climate change because they want to keep burning fossil fuels and keep making, they want to deregulate. I mean, I don't know about how it is there, but here in America, I mean, you've got corporations that want to just pollute as much as they want. I mean, there is climate change. There is a man-made portion. Now, I don't know if we can stop it completely or if it's just going to happen no matter what. But they want to use it as an excuse to continue to pollute and burn fossil fuels. And that's the issue.
I think there's climate change on both levels, though. It's not just global heating. I'd rather call it global heating than warming. There is also parts of the world that are extremely cold and breaking all records as well. But that never gets publicised.
Yeah, that's what kind of happen. That's what's happening, though. I mean, like in the winter, it depends. I mean, it's not quite that simple, because you've got, like, if you look at South America, you've got El Nino and El Niña, and you've got the North Atlantic oscillation with like the Reykjavik high and the Azores low or whatever. No, sorry, the Icelandic low and the Azores high. I mean, these weather circles and things and all the pressures and winds, that can have a huge effect on things. There's so many factors go into play, and that's kind of like what I was saying. I don't think there's much doubt. There's not really a concrete argument against saying, like, there is more CO2 in the atmosphere now. There's not really a concrete argument like against. I think it's just exactly what the macro effects are going to be that we don't know. You can't really say exactly for certain exactly what will happen.
I think a big part of that hypothesis with the whole global warming is based on when you're turning up the heat of the earth by putting a lot of the stuff that's happening with all these fuels and stuff being released. And people think, well, it's going to make everything all hot and everything, like Craig mentioned about the coal. But what it does is it actually turns up the body, so it makes everything else more intense. So it makes colder more intense. That's why we've had more intense winters.
Extremes,
In the summers, it makes it more intense on that end as well. It's a bad name saying global warming, and that's why they try to say climate change or whatever it is now, or whatever they try to phrase it at, because really it's really dealing with the intensity is being turned up, because we're actually doing more harm to the planet now that is causing things to be more extreme either way. And at some point it's going to catch up with. Like they're predicting, there's charts out there saying by 2040 Miami will be underwater, the way things are going right now.
Yeah.
So
I also remember what a lot of the rubbish.
Would that be a
Al Gore
bad
said.
thing, though?
well, not if you're in parts
I
of
mean, we
Southern
got too many old people in Miami anyway. I mean, is anything really good coming out of Miami? I mean, I think we can lose Miami and Texas, and I think our country would be just fine.
So Oklahoma, get ready for beachfront property.
Yeah, let's get rid of the old people. Let's ship them all to Miami, and then we'll,
Do you live in Miami, Tom?
No. I'm in the Midwest, man.
Keeping the safety of the Great
All right.
Plains of the Midwest. Kind of like myself, I guess. So yeah.
Send all the old people to Miami and let them go underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom would be the old shit guy because he's got the silos and stuff out in his states. When he sees those rockets come out, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. I just remember what Al Gore said about 20 years ago, and all of his predictions are miles out. So all these future predictions, I don't trust, I'm afraid.
Well, they're just that, they're predictions, right? I mean, Al Gore kind of painted himself in a corner when he said he created the internet too, though. So
yeah, well, you're onto a winner there.
Well, I mean, I just don't know how folks can deny the science. I mean, the science is there; it's accurate.
Yeah.
You can't decide to not believe science. Of course, climate change is real. Those that don't believe it are sticking their heads in the sand. I mean, it's there. Science is real. You don't make up science.
Yeah, but Jesus is more powerful than
we
science.
live in a country now where we have alternative facts. There is an alternative facts. The science is real, y'all.
Yeah, but Jesus, remember, it's all Jesus, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, we're making up stuff.
Yeah. The thing is, sometimes
we got some
there's a lot
people
of
thinking the Earth is still flat, though, too. So.
Well,
yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, you do have folks that believe that. It's just nuts.
Well, that's what Kyrie Irving just said. He freaking went to Duke. He plays on the Cavaliers, and he thinks the Earth may be flat.
That's crazy.
So if the Earth was flat, it'd just be daytime all the time, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I still find it crazy when you go back and like read the history and like you read about the crazy Christians like burning Galileo at the stake and things.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, when you go to school, we were learning about Galileo, and it's like, no, this is how it actually works. And it's like, okay, we're going to kill you. Okay, well, maybe let me check my research again.
I actually saw this. I actually saw this video from Florida that was really funny, and it was I forget what the name of the town was, but it was they'd invited some guy. They always have a prayer to open up the year of the town senate or whatever it is, and they invited along someone from the Church of Satan. You had all of the folk, like the guy was in the black robe and everything, and he was just singing this song, and it ended like "Hail Satan," and then all the folk in the back, the back, like before he actually was able to sing the song, though, there was all the people that were like, "We ain't gonna let him sing his song. He's gonna put curses on our town." God damn it.
Apologies, guys, but I've got a little distraction here, so I'm gonna have to just sit it out for a minute. Yeah.
No problem. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was brilliant. Like, we ain't gonna shut up. We got our constitutional right. They ain't gonna sing that no God song in our town hall.
That's a pretty good accent, James.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
That is pretty good.
People sound where I live, man.
I'm actually quite. That's one thing.
Got the speech down. I mean, word for word, I've heard that speech out here.
Wow, that's amazing.
I've got quite a knack for accents, though. I can copy quite a lot of accents, and I've heard that's a thing that the Scottish accent is pretty good for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can talk like an Irishman quite easily as well. That's not too difficult.
I've just done a review of these two from Cloudwater.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
You're all over Cloudwater.
I am just doing loads of them. I've got the V12 downstairs, but I'll do that another day.
Ooh.
Is that Dale's Pale Ale behind you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, there's two.
How about that?
There's another one here as well.
There you go.
Oh, did you go back to Tesco and buy another 3 cans?
No, it's the same. Well, I only had 2. But I'm going to go and grab some more $5 for 3 cans.
Yeah.
For us, that's pretty good anyway. Yeah. I got that one as well the other day. But yeah, I'm just getting overloaded.
You just need to get yourself a Shannerbach, boy.
Aye.
Shannerbach.
Excuse me. Goodness.
I'm just getting through some of the old stuff. I've got 3 more beers here that I'm going to do probably tomorrow or Monday, whatever. But a ranch beer with chipolatas, that'll be cool.
Oh, nice.
That's going to blow my head off, I think, because the artwork is cracking. I've probably showed you guys before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I've got one here, Pig Smasher. Same brewery.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully...
You say Pig Smasher, and you did.
Yeah.
My friend,
in some parts of rural U.S., that means something else.
That's a whole other thing, man.
I'm sure you heard the controversy over in America about David Cameron.
What about Cameron?
All right. David Cameron, when he was he gets the Conservative Party get a lot of flack because a lot of them went to like Eton, the really elite private schools that are known to produce prime ministers.
Mm-hmm.
And David Cameron, when he was at Oxford at Brasenose College, he stuck his dick in a dead pig's mouth.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I've got a friend who does his PhD at Oxford. So we've bought Pig Destroyer T-shirts. It's like a black death metal band. So we were going to go and take photos of ourselves next to the Brasenose College sign with the Pig Destroyer T-shirts on. Yeah. So yeah. Very sick sense of humor. But pigs are tasty, I have to admit. I don't think I would want to do that.
Some people really like their pork, man.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Germany, I ate very little else, I have to admit.
You talk about stuffing the pig.
Yeah.
I'm going to get me a hog.
A new meaning to the word porkin'.
New meaning to bacon wrap.
Bacon wrap. Yeah, pork chopped.
Yeah. Oh man.
That was a ham. That's what that was.
Hoo-wee. Have you guys seen that? There's a guy, I don't know what state he's from, but there's a guy who does beer reviews, Beer 30.
Yeah, Beer 30. He's out in Arizona.
He's brilliant. I love that thing. Like he's just like Coo-wee.
Yeah, that dude's hilarious, man. He's funny.
I used to hook up with him too now. So he'll usually pop on. I should see if he's around. He might be doing some stuff.
Yeah, I think his house looks like it's just a big it looks like it's just a big garage or something. There's like so many tools and all that shit lying around.
Oh yeah, he rides a lot of bikes and stuff. He does a lot of stuff out there where he has the bikes and everything. But in fact, night shift, so he may do one later tonight.
Yeah.
He'll usually send me a thing to see if I'm going to jump on or not.
Oh, right. That's one place I'd quite like to go. Actually, is out to Arizona. And is the Grand Canyon in Arizona, and then all the alien stuff's in New Mexico.
The Grand Canyon is in Nevada.
Ah,
Far
right.
from Las Vegas, because people go out there to the. What is it? Wait a minute, is it Nevada?
No,
Hoover
Grand
Dam?
Canyon's in Arizona, man.
It is Arizona. Hoover Dam's Nevada.
Yeah, Hoover Dam.
I think in Vegas they ran tours out to Hoover Dam, but we flew over to Grand Canyon when we had to go to Las Vegas last time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There, we just see that's like, wait, I can see it from here. There's a hole in the ground. Get me to the casino and the bar. Then I'll be ready to see something. Go to Grand Canyon to kick rocks.
Yeah.
But
I'd be quite cool to go and see that actually.
yeah, it is.
I need to go and see Ayers Rock in Australia as well. That's another thing I have to go and see sometime.
Where's Easter Island? I wouldn't mind checking that out.
Where's what? Sorry.
Easter Island.
I can't remember. Easter Island.
With the heads, they got the head rocks or whatever. Let me look online here.
Chile. It's Chile.
Easter Island, Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, it's Chile.
Yeah,
it's down by Chile in
the
South
Chilean
America.
territory. Remote volcanic island in Polynesia. Its native name is Rupa Nui.
Rapa Nui. Yeah, Rapa Nui.
Yeah. Small
Oh yeah,
area.
that's ages away from Chile, isn't it?
Yeah.